I hope you had a drink of water or a stretch or a snack or went to the bathroom, whatever you need to make you feel refreshed for our science quiz. So for the science quiz, you need S3A, S3B, and S3 curly K. It's not necessary to write your name because in the back of the workbook, I just quickly want to show you. On your guidelines, on the front page, it will always say where you need to do your work. The regrouping cards activity you had to do in the front of the workbook. Quizzes for Friday in the back of the workbook. Your phonics, your science, and the maths in the back. Creative writing in the front. So this front page always tells you exactly what marks I'm going to be looking for this week and also where I want to be able to find the work. Okay? I feel like some of you didn't know where I put that. It's on the front of the guidelines. All you have to do is read. So this needs to be cut out. All three of these papers need to be cut out and pasted in the back of the workbook. You can go ahead and do that now. Pause the video, cut out the papers and paste them in the back of the workbook. Remember to cut with your ruler, your grey pencil, and then your scissors, like we would do in class. Cool, I'm getting started. So, this quiz is about insects and amphibians. It says to write true or false in the boxes next to the facts about insects. First one, most insects lay eggs. True or false? Most insects lay eggs. True or false? Next one. Insects are warm-blooded animals. True or false? If insects are warm-blooded animals, write true. If insects are cold-blooded animals, write false. Next one. Insects are invertebrates. I'm not saying vertebrates, I'm saying invertebrates. Insects are invertebrates. True or false? I'm not going to explain what that is because you should know what vertebrates and invertebrates are by now. Remember to do your quizzes completely alone. No help allowed. Next one, most insects have 8 legs. True or false? Next one, insects have 3 body parts. True or false? Next part, insects can breathe underwater. True or false? The spelling of true and the spelling of false are at the top. Insects can breathe underwater. True or false? Next one, all insects can fly. True or false? If all insects can fly, write true. If only some insects can fly, write false. Last one, all insects have exoskeletons. True or false? Good. Finished with page 1. Next page. Circle the correct answer in the following multiple choice questions. Let's have a look. Number 1. Which word does not describe a way in which an amphibian moves? Okay. Is it fly, leap, walk, or swim? Which word does not describe a way in which an amphibian moves? So one of these ways does not describe how an amphibian can get from one place to another. Is it fly, leap, walk, or swim? Which one of those can an amphibian not do? Circle it. Number 2, which of the following animals can survive without a moist or a damp environment? Which one of these animals that I'm about to read can live in a dry area? That's basically what I'm asking. Is it a salamander, a newt, a frog, or a gecko? Which one of these 4 does not need a moist environment to live in? Number 3, which of the following animals are not a vertebrate? So which of these is an invertebrate? Which of the following are not a vertebrate? Is it a sparrow, an eagle, a bat, or a moth? Which one of those are an invertebrate? Is an invertebrate or? So which of these is an invertebrate? Is it a sparrow, an eagle, a bat, or a moth? Number 4, which one of the following animals does not have an exoskeleton? This animal will not have an exoskeleton. Is it a butterfly, a spider, an earthworm, or a cricket? Okay, so which of those does not have an exoskeleton? A butterfly, a spider, an earthworm, or a cricket? Number 5. Which of the following animals have moist and slimy skin? So which one of these following animals, if you touch it, it will be slimy and it will be moist, so almost wet. Is it a snake, an iguana, a crocodile, or a toad? Which one of those animals have a moist or a slimy skin? Is it a snake, an iguana, a crocodile, or a toad? Circle the correct answer. Alright, then we've come to the last page. Before we tackle this page, grade 2, I want you to listen carefully. So whatever you are doing now, put down your pencils, put down everything, and open your ears. I said this in last week's video, and some of you still did not answer the way that I wanted you to answer it. When I say, give 2 reasons why a grasshopper is an insect and not a fish, I want to know, fine, you guys will write things like, for example, it's, why is a sparrow a bird and not a mammal? You guys will write, because the sparrow has wings, because the sparrow lays eggs. Perfect. But then you only get half a mark for each. I want to know, why is it not a mammal? What about the fact that it lays eggs makes it not a mammal? So what you should write is, a sparrow lays eggs, mammals give live birth. A sparrow has feathers, and mammals have fur. I want to know, what about this animal makes it an insect, and why is it not a fish? So when you answer the question, give me why it's an insect, and then tell me why it's not a fish. Then that will get 1 mark. The next one, this is why it's an insect and fish, and this is why it's not a fish, for that same reason. Then you get a full mark. Okay, I'm going to explain again. The reason, for example, if the question was, if this was the question, give 2 reasons, why an ostrich is a bird and not a mammal. This is how you should answer it. Let's say number 1. Ostriches have feathers. Okay, You told me why it's a bird. Now you have to tell me why it's not a mammal. Mammals have fur. Now I know. An ostrich has feathers and not fur. That is why it is a bird and not a mammal. Number 2. Ostriches lay eggs. Mammals give live birth. Good. Now you've told me. This is why it's a bird and this is why it's not a mammal. So, do you understand? I want your answer for why it's a bird, not a mammal. Why it's a bird, not a mammal. If you only tell me why it's a bird, half a mark, half a mark. Okay. I hope we can get it right this week. So, first one. Give 2 reasons why a grasshopper is an insect and not a fish. So now, give me 2 reasons why it is an insect, and then after that reason, tell me, okay, but what makes a fish different? Why is it not a fish? Okay, so you can go ahead and answer that question. Basically, I'm asking for the differences between insects and fish. Good. I'm moving on to the next one. You can pause. All right. You are finished with this question. We're moving on to this one. Give 2 reasons why a frog is an amphibian and not a reptile. So now you write down 2 reasons why a frog is an amphibian. And then you write down after those 2 reasons, but what do reptiles have different than that reason? So if you said amphibians eat cheese, then you must write reptiles only eat bread. It's just an example, it's not the truth. Good. Finish up that one. If you're not finished, pause. I'm moving on to the next one. Okay. Name 1 difference between an insect and an amphibian. Okay, you guys answered this one correctly. So just write down what is a difference between an insect and an amphibian. Insects do or have or can do this, and amphibians do or can or have this. One mark. Are we? And then the next one. Again, I want 2 names and I want 2 reasons. The 2 names get 1 mark, the 2 reasons get 1 mark. That gives me 2. So, name any 2 amphibians and explain why they are this type of animal. So write the names down of 2 amphibians and give me a characteristic or a fact that you know about amphibians after each one of them. This type of animal is an amphibian because it does this. This type of animal is an amphibian because it does this, or has this, or looks like this, or lives here. Good. We are finished with our science quiz. Let's move on to maths. Yay!